As you can probably tell from the title of this video, this whole monotasking thing isn't going exactly as planned. For those of you who haven't seen that video yet, the essence was that I wanted to try implementing monotasking in my life, specifically in terms of the projects that I work on. I've always been the kind of person to have multiple things on the go, but lately I've been feeling a little overwhelmed with just how many I had going at once. And while that week where I filmed the other video worked out pretty well, I quickly found myself slipping back into old ways, starting new projects before the other ones were done. Whoops. However, I did notice that the amount of new projects I started was less, where before I would have been swimming in them, now I just had a few on the go. But I'm figuring something out during this process. While what I'm doing is by no means considered monotasking, I am slowing down and regaining my attention span, which was kind of the goal of the whole thing. The strange thing is, I can't tell exactly what's causing it. I'm watching much less short-form content, and while I think that's the reason for my attention span improving, I wonder if me reducing the amount of projects I'm working on has something to do with it as well. Or maybe the two are influencing each other. I'm not entirely sure. What I do know is that I'm spending way less time on my phone. I'm reading a lot more and writing more, and of course finishing projects I have on the go. The best part is that I recently dove into a pile of unfinished sewing projects that were lurking in my closet for way too long. All this to say, I feel a lot more like my old self than I did just a few weeks ago, and for that I'm grateful. Good morning. It is Tuesday morning. My hair is still a bit wet from the shower. I wanted to come on here and tell you a little bit about what I've been doing. I paused there because I'm doing far too many things, and I think it's really funny because I recently did a video about like finishing all my half-done projects, and then I also did a video on monotasking. I am beginning to think that, well, I don't know, I feel like I'm like not cutting myself enough slack here, but I was gonna say I feel like I am not super cut out for monotasking, but I think that it might just be from years of doing like multiple projects at a time. And like I was saying in my other video, it is a process, and so I can't beat myself up about not getting it right the first time. As you would have seen earlier in the video, I filmed that on Sunday when it was this beautiful sunny day. And so I planted all my seeds indoors, which is mostly flowers this year. Everything else is just gonna go directly in the dirt when it's warm outside. But you also saw me planting my poppies in the backyard. What you didn't see was me planting onions, and I'm gonna put a picture of it here-ish. There's this strip of what was gravel at the side of the house, and I was tired of looking at it, and so I dug all the gravel out and I put dirt in. And I'm actually gonna plant some wildflowers there. I was thinking I was gonna do some moss or just like some creeping thyme because it doesn't get a ton of sun, but I was looking at it once I had the dirt in and I was like, yeah, no, this would look really nice with a bunch of wildflowers. I don't know if you'll be able to see in the photo that I put up there, but there's a big long strip that's maybe like 6 inches wide, and then there's like a big square piece at the end. It's all gonna be wildflowers. And it's kind of like an experiment. I'll see what it looks like this year. Now, on the topic of projects, I want to show you 2 things that we've done recently. Well, I guess 3, because you can see all the paint samples right there as well. Monotasking is not going great, but that's okay. It's a process. But yeah, let me show you the 3 in progress / done things that we've done here. So the first thing is this. It was just like a plain piece of opaque glass, and I didn't think it was very cute. And so we got some of that window wrap stuff, and you can kind of see it. Yeah, the light hits it. It has these beautiful little rainbows in it, but then also the green vines. If you can tell from my videos, I really like green, like quite a bit, and so this was kind of perfect. The second thing, which I'm so happy about, I finally finished painting these gosh darn stairs. Turn you around for a second. So there is tape on the stairs because when they built this place, they put carpet on the stairs, And so I'm not a builder. I don't know why people do things that they do when they're building houses, but they did leave a big strip of open drywall. I guess that's where the carpet slotted in. I don't know. But since there's no more carpet, I wanted to fill that in. And so I got some drywall mud and I filled that in. And it's not perfect because I'm not a builder. I've never built houses before. This is new to me. And so I filled it and I've put one layer of paint over it. And so I'm looking at it right now and I can definitely still see the drywall mud. So at some point today, I'm going to do a second coat of paint over that part of the wall. And then I can take the tape off the stairs and it'll be completely done. Which brings me to the fourth project. There's paint samples all over this dang house right now. I'll show you what I'm thinking though. So first we have this wall. I was looking at it the other day and I don't know why I've never thought of this before, but I was like, oh, it would look really nice if this right here was painted something else. Because as you can see, there's a lot of white walls going on in here. The green was added by the builders, which is awesome because I asked for it. But yeah, lots and lots of white, and I would like to change that. So this wall is going to be yellow. I have no idea what yellow, as you can tell. There's like a lot of different options there. I am thinking leaning towards this one, which is called Candlewick, or possibly this one, which is called Spinning Silk. I don't know if they're too light of yellows. I might go with a bit brighter, but I'm not really sure. But then that also brings us to the cabinets. I don't know what I was thinking when I asked for gray cabinets. I think I was a lot younger and I thought that it would look cool. Guess what? I don't really like it anymore. So as you can see, we've got a couple different greens here. Couple different greens here. I'm still so undecided, but I do know I want more of like a off-white up here, I think, because if I did like one of these greens down here and up here, I feel like it would be too much with the dark green wall and then the mossy stairs. So what I'm saying is I am doing a lot of things, but I am trying to do them one at a time. Like the stairs, like painting the walls down there, I'm gonna finish that today and take the tape off so that I can say that one project is entirely done. And then once that's done, I'll probably figure out what I wanna do with this wall. I've had those up for like a few days now and I still don't feel like I'm any closer to choosing a yellow, so it might actually be a bit later than I think it will be. Anyway, all that to say, I think I will always have lots of projects on the go, but I am trying to do less projects at a time. I'm trying to finish one before I start on the next one. And speaking of things I have to do, I'm having friends over tonight for a movie, so I'm gonna make us some sort of blueberry crumble, I believe. I was gonna make peanut butter bars, but I am really in the mood for like a nice warm crumble with like vanilla ice cream. On the topic of projects, one thing I'm noticing about myself is that I tend to save them for when I know I'm going to be filming, and I'm not really sure how I feel about that. I love having little things on the go that I can show you here, but staying away from them until I'm ready to film, even if I feel like working on them, might just end up being a problem. I think what I really need to do is remind myself that there will always be more projects to film and things to show you guys. While I may not be great at monotasking, I'm okay with that because it means that I always have something to do when I'm looking to keep my hands busy. I was reading back comments from my original monotasking video the other day, and a few stood out to me. One person talked about having a finishing day where they gather all their half-finished projects and get them done. I've done this a couple times in the past, and I've loved it every single time. It's definitely something I'm going to prioritize doing regularly in the future. I'm thinking maybe once or twice a month. Another person talked about the different categories of projects they have going, and I think I do something similar. I always have at least one knitting project, one sewing project, one book that I'm writing, and so on. Actually, to be completely honest, I generally have more than one of each, but I think I'm okay with that too. This person talked about how having different projects means they can choose to work on what they are inspired by on any given day, and I love that. I'm pretty sure I do that too. And so while I've kind of failed spectacularly at monotasking, I am so okay with this. I'd say I'm pretty happy with having multiple projects on the go, and I've come to realize that wasn't the problem in the first place. My attention span was wrecked, absolutely, but for me, focusing on just one project at a time isn't necessarily the answer. I think the answer is, unfortunately, not watching short form content at all, something I talked about in the first video, but it is solidifying as an absolute fact for me. I don't really know how I feel about this. I don't really enjoy short form content. I always leave a watching session feeling just kind of gross, and it has nothing to do with the content itself. I think it's just the amount of information that is going into my brain at once. But all this is fine. Now that I'm reading more again, I'm re-finding how much joy it brings me, and I find that I don't even want to watch short form content anymore. It's kind of fantastic. If you're also trying to cut back on short form content, I wish you all the luck in the world. It is so hard, but so worth it. Oh my gosh, it's really bright in here. It is the next day and the paint is dry, and I've gotten down here and I can see that all of the drywall mud and all of the paint that I like bumped over from the stairs by accident has been covered up. So I'm taking this tape off, which marks the end of this project, and I'm so excited about that because this has taken me like 2 months from start to finish, which is just like nuts. Anyway, let's get this tape off. Oh, that's nice. The tape did not do its job. It is now on the stairs. Okay, I take back my excitement about being almost done this job because I will have to touch that up. Probably do that later today. So frustrating. What is the point of using painter's tape if it's not going to work? Okay, so luckily, whatever happened with the painter's tape, I must have just not pushed it down hard enough, but there was only a problem on, I think, just a few of the steps, and it seems like the other side is fine. So it's not as much work as I thought it was going to be to touch these stairs up. I think I can probably do it sometime this afternoon, maybe tomorrow, we'll see. But yeah, I'm so excited to be almost done this project finally. Now, I could technically work on that painting project right now and get those stairs completely finished. However, it is very sunny outside. The first time in a couple days. It's been like super dark and gray the last couple of days. And earlier in the video, I was telling you about that little strip of dirt at the side of the house where I was going to plant wildflowers. Yesterday, I went to my grandparents' house to pick up some dahlia tubers, but before I went there, I went and picked up some wildflower seeds, which I'm very excited about because they look like relatively similar, but one is a partial shade blend, which is good because I think that bed is partial shade, and then the other one is a Pacific Northwest blend. And I knew I needed at least 2 packs of wildflower seeds, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix them up in 1 pack and then scatter them around so they're evenly distributed. I am really looking forward to this. It's so funny because when I started this project, I thought it was going to be a moss bed and so just like green all year. But the idea of like walking out the door and like turning the corner and seeing just like seeing a little patch of wildflowers just in my yard, that sounds so nice and I'm so excited about that. So yeah, let's go outside and plant these.